Yeah. What's happening, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, welcome to the channel. Robert Kennedy, 3rd RK3. That's me. Tonight we are talking about how to start your videos without looking awkward. Yeah, so what do I mean by awkward? I'm talking about those videos where you start the live stream and you see somebody and they're kind of like, they're like looking all, let me actually see if I can do some of them. I'm not gonna do them. But a lot of times people start out their videos and they are looking a little bit nuts, or they're looking crazy, or just flat out plain uncomfortable, right? And the reason that they're uncomfortable is because they don't really have a game plan for this. They're not really sure what's going on. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about 5 things that you can do to start your videos or your lives without looking uncomfortable or awkward. So do me a favor, if you are on the session with me tonight, and type your name in the chat, just say what's up, give me like the, I don't know, West Side or what, I don't know, gang signs. All right, well listen, let's just hang out together for a little bit and we'll talk a bit about some of the things that you can do to not start your videos out awkward. Now here's the deal. Here is why is it that I don't want to start my videos out awkward. Hey Gary Jones, how you doing? Why do I not want to start out my videos in an awkward way? Well, here's the deal. The more awkward my videos are, the more uncomfortable I seem, the more unprofessional I seem, the more likely it is that someone will not hang around for the rest of my video. So my job, especially at the beginning, is to really figure out what are some things that I can do to make it really interesting for my viewer or for my user, or just so that it seems like I'm relaxed, I'm having fun, and I'm engaged in what we're up to. So tonight we're going to talk about that. So let's just jump in. I don't want these videos to be too long. I want to do this. I want to go through some tips, and after each tip that I share, if there's a question that you have or if there's a comment that you have, I want to just kind of read through some of those. All right, so go ahead and just feel free to chat as we do this. I'll bring some of them up on screen as we go, but I'm going to take a break every so often just to give you just to respond to some of the things in the comments. All right, so let's do this thing. All right, here we go. So how do I start my videos without looking awkward? Here is number one. Here's number one, right? Boom. Use a pre-roll or a countdown timer. Part of the reason that some people look weird or look awkward is because they are not sure where things are. They're not sure where people are. They're not sure where buttons are. They're not sure what they should be looking at. So for the first few seconds, 30, 40 seconds, they're looking for things. They're looking a little bit odd. They're looking all over the place because they're not sure where things are, right? So I look like I'm looking right at this thing. Let me change that. Let me go back. All right. So they're not sure what they should be doing, right? And so one of the things that having a pre-roll timer does is it allows you to prep behind the scenes. It allows you to breathe. It allows you to do funny things if you want to engage with your audience, right? So the advantage is that you're not awkwardly looking for things. It gives you a moment, okay? The disadvantage for pre-roll timers is that you're not gonna have them with every single live streaming technology. For example, if you go live streaming on your phone from Facebook, just using the standard Facebook login, you're probably not gonna get that pre-roll. Although you can log into a software like Restream or StreamYard from your browser on your mobile device and use that as a pre-roll. There's also a mobile version of BeLive, right? Let me see where it is. Is it BeLive.tv? Let me double check this thing. So BeLive.com, or is it BeLive.tv? Yeah. Let's see. I forgot what they. Yeah, so BeLive.tv, I think that's it. Or is it B.live? Oh, B.live. Let's see, I'm not getting what I want here. Yeah, so it's B.live. Okay, so B.live, let me actually share this with you. I'm gonna cross this off and I'm going to add in a screen share so that my audience can kind of see this thing. I don't want to show the entire browser. All right, so let's see if I can get this on screen for you so you can see this. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Let me put this on the side here. Okay, boom, there it is. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, so B.live is one of the ways that you can go, you know, mobile. I don't remember how to find it, but there is a mobile version of this that has the, if you go to download in the App Store, if you're on a iOS device, you can go there and it will, I believe you can find the mobile version of it, which you can do countdowns and all of that stuff. All right, so that's actually a pretty cool option. All right, so I'm using a software known as Ecamm. Hey, Dr. Elo, how you doing, buddy? I'm using a software known as Ecamm, and so with Ecamm, one of the things that you can do is you can do pre-roll. So for example, in the beginning, I do this, and you see my general pre-show. I've got different things happening here. So I've got my my iPad. I've got my Stream Deck here, some mixers, another Stream Deck here, etc. for my second computer behind me. So this is the countdown timer, or this is one of the countdown timers that I use before I start. So as I'm doing this, it's kind of like my setup to go live, right? It's kind of like my setup to go live. So I don't have to fiddle around with things while, hold on, did y'all see that at all? Yeah, let me actually go back and switch and share that. Did y'all see that? Oh, you didn't see that. I'm sorry, I was in preview mode, my fault. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, you can, this is my pre-show timer here. So let me go back to that. Oh, actually you did see it. Okay, so I was looking at the thingy bob there. But another thing that happens with the pre-show timers that is actually pretty neat, right? Is that when you have a pre-show timer that you use that allows you to have kind of a little opacity, you can do some different things behind the scenes and people can see it. So the countdown is happening. They know that the show's going to actually start, and maybe I'm playing music in the background or something like that. So you're hearing my music right now. All right, so then I can kind of swap around or whatever. I can start dancing, doing whatever behind the scenes. Yeah, you know, I can start doing different things. And of course, I'm playing really soft music right now. So let me see if I can find something that's a little bit more interesting. Something that's a little bit more up-tempo. A little bit more up-tempo. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let me fade that. And I'm gonna go with something a little bit more up-tempo. So what we got? Yeah. So having a pre-roll or pre-show timer kind of allows some of those types of things to give interest, and again, it really prepares your audience so that you're not feeling or starting out really weird. Okay, so that's tip number one. Tip number one. All right. Let me see who's in here. Dr. Elo, what's happening? Gary Jones, what's happening? Hey, Sterling, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you this evening. Okay, so that's tip number one. But let me go to tip 1B, right? Let me go to tip 1B. Let's say that you might not have software. Let's say you might not have software. Let's say, I mean, but you can get, if you're going live, you can literally get a free StreamYard account. You can get a free Restream account, et cetera, et cetera. I'll put the affiliate links. I'll put the links in the description below this video when this is done, so you can kind of come back and grab those. All right. But the other thing that you can do, and I'm going to call this 1B, and I've seen this done before, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny, right? Sometimes what you can literally do is maybe you might have music kind of playing in the background, right? So let me play something in the background here. You might have music kind of playing in the background. And I've seen people do this before to good effect. Let me actually get a marker. All right, I'm back. Kimbucha, what's up? So I've seen people do things like this, right? So they're in the background and they'll do like, you know, my marker's no good. Hopefully you guys can see this. So they'll hold it up. Okay, you can't really see this, it's white. I shouldn't have done white, right? Or my lighting is bad. But anyway, so let me actually go to this one. Maybe you can see it better here. Nope, you cannot see it there. Because my marker is terrible. My marker is terrible, right? So I've seen people put up signs or different things. Just have fun with it, right? Have a little bit of fun. Have some conversation with people. What you can do things like, you know, if I'm using Ecamm, one of the things that I can do here is I can put up a timer. Let me do that. I'm gonna put up a timer on my screen here, and I'm gonna say 1 minute. Right, so I'll put up a timer on my side here and say, hey guys, yeah, the show's starting in 1 minute. Right now, we're just kind of hanging out, et cetera, right? So Gary's like, we get the point. Yeah, exactly. All right. So that's 1B, all right? So let's go to the second point. let's go to the second point. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more. Let's go to the second point, or tip number 3. So how do you start the show or start out? The whiteboard. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about. All right. So how do you start the show without looking awkward or weird? So using a hook is a really good way to start without being awkward or weird. So that's the thing that a lot of people don't do. That's the thing that a lot of people don't work on. And here's why. Here's why a lot of people don't do it. Because they just kind of flip the live button on and they don't prepare. A lot of people don't prepare, right? So I've seen so many people go on and pretty much it's like, hey guys, you know, I'm here and I just wanted to jump on real quick, etc. By the time you get through, I just wanted to jump on real quick. I'm hopping off real quick. All right. Why am I there? What is the thing that you're going to share with me? What is the reason that I should hang out and stick around? Why should I stick around? Right. So use a hook. So for example, I was doing a podcast show on Monday, and within the first 3 seconds of the show starting, here's what I said. What would you do if you came face to face with a killer? And what would you do if you came face to face with a killer who had killed someone that you loved? Maybe it was a parent, maybe it was a brother, maybe it was a sister, maybe it was a best friend. How would you handle that moment? Well, guess what? We're going to talk about that today right here on, and I was sharing that on my podcast. So that's like 5-6 seconds of, oh my gosh, what would I do if somebody killed somebody, right? That's a hook. All right. What's another example of a hook might be something that you hate, So for example, I did a video. I don't know if you look on the channel somewhere, I was doing this video about my thoughts on virtual backgrounds. And my statement at the beginning of the video was, OMG, I hate green screens. Right? And then I kind of started and did a couple of things. And then after that, I said, I hate green screens. But let me clarify. I hate green screens if they're not well done. So if you're going to use a green screen, let's talk today about how to do this and make sure that it's done well or done right. So now people who use green screens, people who've been on Zoom, people who've been doing all this stuff for the last 12, 16, 18 months on virtual spaces, who know that they've been guilty of having the trees and the beach in the background or the moon in the background. They're like, hold on, let me stick around. Let me see what this dude's got to say about my virtual backgrounds. I've actually, in when I did those videos, I had a couple of friends that was so mad at me. They were like, dude, why are you coming for me with my green screens? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so use a hook. What is the thing that you're going to say right at the beginning? If you're intentional about that, if you plan that, if you've got that one statement that you can make right at the beginning that is going to draw people in, then you've got some stuff. You've got a better chance of engaging your viewers and having them hang out for a longer time on your show. Okay? All right. So let me stop for a second and see what people are saying in the comments here. So Kimbo just like that fake beach with the ocean moving. Yeah. Gary's like mercy. Yes, exactly. So I know all of you have seen that beach. Yeah. All right. Good deal. So let's go to the next point that I want to make here. So the first one that we said, how to not make your sessions boring. You want to use a pre-roll, or you want how to not make it awkward at the beginning. Use a pre-roll so you get some space and time. And then we talked about using a manual one, which didn't really work out well for me because my marker sucked. My marker was terrible. Yeah, I needed to prepare better for that one. All right, cool. All right. So using a hook, let me get that off the screen. So the next tip, the next point that you can use here so that you are not starting out your videos or your live streams awkwardly is ask your audience to do something or share something. Ask your audience to do something or share something. Maybe you ask them to put their names in the chat, right? Maybe you ask them a question. Maybe you ask them to type hashtag replay. So you might start out by saying, hey y'all, if you're on this thing live, do me a favor, go type hashtag live in the chat. Or if you're watching this on replay, type hashtag replay in the chat so that I know which people are there with me, and I can come back later and respond to some of those that did the hashtag replay, right? That's one simple thing that you can do to help your audience engage pretty quickly, okay? So you wanna make sure that you engage them either emotionally by sharing something that causes them to think or remember a feeling. You also want to engage them, or you can engage them physically by asking them to do something. You can engage them mentally by asking a question and asking them to think about something. All right, so you got emotionally, you got mentally, you got physically, right? Is there something else that you can do? Yeah, maybe I can play a video at the beginning and ask them to rate it or rank it or something of that nature, right? Have you ever seen somebody post maybe pictures on the screen and then they say, which one is your favorite? Coffee or tea? Y'all tell me in the chat, coffee or tea? Matter of fact, those of you that are in the chat with me right now, if somebody gave you a choice about like a drink that you wanted, what's the best drink that you would choose? What drink would you choose if you could have any drink right now? It's like 8:22 on the East Coast of the United States. What drink would you have? Those of you that are watching, go ahead and put that in me. Kombucha, I'm waiting for you. So let me, while I'm waiting for people to put which drink they would want in the chat, I'm gonna go to a comment here. So Kombucha says, I don't use a hook, but I'll try to incorporate that more. I imagine it also helps with the replay as well. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. So let's see. All right, so what drink would you want? Chai, tea? All right, all right, good. Hot toddy, yup, exactly, right? Sterling says tea, yeah, all right, excellent, excellent. So we're getting engagement. We're getting people to ask questions. We're getting people to respond. We're getting our audience to do something. So when you are, especially when you're live, you want to engage your audience, and the more that you're able to engage your audience, hold on, I got my music stopped in the background. I want to keep my music playing. All right. So the more that you're able to engage your audience, the better it is, the less awkward it is for you. And you don't feel like you have to be perfect right at the beginning, right? But you really want to start out looking like you have some confidence, like you have some connection, because the longer it takes you to get confident, the longer it takes you to get comfortable in your space, the harder it is for you to help people stay for that. All right. So that's the fourth thing that I've shared with you. I know it said 3, but I did a 1 and a 1B. All right. So let's go to the last one. Let's go to the last one. We only got a few more minutes on this here. So one of the things that I do sometimes at the beginning, before I do my content, is I show a behind the scenes. All right. I do a BTS so that people can get a context for where I am, what's happening in my space, and they feel like they're in the room with me a little bit, right? So I'm doing a BTS behind the scenes. So sometimes as I'm prepping for a show, I may start out, because I've got different camera views here, right? I may start out here, but pretty quickly I'll go to my behind the scenes. So not only are they listening to me, they're kind of looking at like, oh my gosh, what's happening back there? What's that? That's the space. That's what's Robert going on. As a matter of fact, there's some lights and stuff blinking there. What's going on there? So people are starting to look and wonder what I have going on, and they're engaging and they're looking, and there's less pressure on me because they're seeing what is behind the scenes. And again, one of my favorite terms is pattern disrupt, right? They have some expectations can you disrupt them from those expectations? And so, you know, I might start out by saying, hey, y'all, we're going to talk about some stuff today. But before we get started, I just want to share with you like a couple of things that I'm working on, because some people have been asking me about what happens behind my scenes, right? Or behind the behind the scenes. I'm losing my words right here. Some people ask me about what equipment I use, or etc. So I'm in my office today, and I just kind of wanted to share with you. Or maybe you might share, hey, I just got a new piece of equipment, right? I just got something new. So y'all see people doing this all the time. You see people doing what is known as an unboxing. Speaking of unboxing, I'm getting ready to do something soon. Here, there's this microphone, and it's called the MK012. Let me see if I can hold that up better. Right, MK012. Let's see if you can see that better. Oops. There we go. It's this mic from this company called Octava, and I don't know if you can see this right here. Let's see if you can see this. Right, this is Russian. This is Russian, made in Russia. So it's this Octava mic. It's one of those pencil mics, and I haven't set it up yet. But pretty soon I'm going to be doing a video shortly where you'll see, or you'll hear the difference between these things. So I'm sharing with you some behind the scenes stuff right now, right? So people like to see what's going on behind the scenes. As a matter of fact, I do this show every Monday morning called Monday Morning Get Up, right? So let me actually take this off the screen here. I do the show called Monday Morning Get Up. Give me a moment. I want to just get in the overlay for it, right? So I do this thing called Monday Morning Get Up every Monday morning. And one of the things that I do before I get started is I go live on Instagram. And because Instagram is not hooked up to my system, I'm talking to people on Instagram like 9:55 before we go live. And so one of the things that people have said to me is that, yeah, it kind of feels like this exclusive behind the scenes feel, because I get to talk to them. I'm just kind of setting up, and they're just kind of hanging with me and seeing me go about my space, but I'm also just chilling out and saying what's up to people that happen to pop in, right? So that's one of the things that I do. So I show up BTS, or I go behind the scenes before actually beginning my content. And that's a really neat way to start off and connect with people and have them with me before I go into the content today, because they know that some content is coming. So here's the thing. Some people feel like, yeah, let me just ramble for 10 minutes after I start. No, that's not what people came for. If they know that you're going live at 10 o'clock and they come on at 10 o'clock, they want you to get to the point. They want you to get to the stuff that they came to see. So you want to use the pre-roll or the pre-time to do some of those things that we were just talking about, right? So my goal is to have y'all not do any awkward starts at the beginning of your live streams or your podcast. And a lot of times awkward, not just at the beginning, but maybe awkward at the end, right? And so one of the things that I tend to do sometimes, especially if I'm closing a show, instead of looking for all of the different buttons, etc., I'll have just like I have. Of course, I was muted. Yep, sorry about that. I have that muted on purpose. Right? But I've got a show closer, so that gives me a chance to kind of wind down and press buttons or look away or do whatever I need so that I can really get connected with my audience even more effectively, all right? Or so that I can just kind of seem even more pro when I do this. So listen, y'all, we're about to jump on out of here, but if you have any thoughts, any questions about what I'm up to, what I do when I'm going live, what I do when I'm training or going over things on video. Please feel free to ask questions. Hey, Steve, how you doing today? Please feel free to ask some questions. I'll be back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. talking about some things that we can do. What's the third topic here? Let me look in my list of thingies. Tomorrow is how do I know which stories I should tell when I'm in a live stream? All right. Or when I'm in a video, how do I know which stories to use? Because a lot of people tell stories, but you want to tell the right story. You want to use the right example. So tomorrow night, we're going to talk about that. So make sure that you join me. I'll be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time. Do your man a favor. If you want to get connected even further, do me a favor. Go ahead and text me right here. All right. And I'll tell you when I'm going live. Text me 410-936-4049. Okay. 410-936-4049. Okay. So before I jump on out here, Sterling is asking a question. Let me pop that question on the screen and let me answer that for you. So Sterling is asking, how early do I connect with the audience? So I think you're asking a couple of questions here. Let me clarify what you're asking. Are you asking if I have something scheduled for 8 o'clock, how early do I go live to do my pre stuff? Or are you asking with regard to connecting with the audience, how early in my session or talking do I do that? So the answer is, in both cases, immediately. Okay, I connect with the audience immediately. I've got to do that. But if you're talking about the time, how early do I do a pre-roll before I go live? You know, I don't have a rule on it. I keep my pre-rolls fairly short. I've seen people do pre-rolls of 10, 15 minutes. You know, maybe it works for them. I don't know. I tend to keep mine pretty short because I operate a little bit by how I feel. If I go to something, unless it's something that I paid for, right? Unless I'm at the movies, all right? Unless it's something that I'm highly anticipating and I know that it's only a one-time thing and there's no other choice for me, then I'm on the short end of the stick here. If you're telling me if your pre-roll is 15 minutes, I'm gone. If your pre-roll is 10 minutes, I'm gone. If your pre-roll is 5 minutes, I might stay around depending on how long I've been waiting or anticipating this thing, or how the buildup is, or what's happening during the pre-roll. If it's just a regular pre-roll where it's like counting down, I'm probably gonna go. But if you have a longer pre-roll, then I might make some suggestions, right? Are there questions that you can ask or post on the screen for the audience? Are there links that you can send them to? Are there little videos? Are there things that you can do to keep their interest in that time while they're waiting for the meet, while they're waiting for you, right? So, ooh, my man, Doc Rock, what it do, homie? Yeah, so if you're gonna do a longer pre-roll or a countdown timer, I recommend that you have things to engage the audience and not just simply a countdown. So I'll go back to the timer that I used earlier. Again, simple timer, but again, the purpose of it being translucent in some ways is simply so that the audience can see what's happening behind the scenes. And sometimes what I do is, if I've got something as simple as this, a lot of people have graphics and they have a lot of other things, but if I have it simple like this behind the scenes, right? Then what I'm doing sometimes is I'm switching my views. So people, there's still subtle interest happening behind the scenes here, right? People know that I'm there. They know that I'm preparing. They know that I'm doing something, right? They know that something's going on. They know that something's up, you know, they see me doing different things. So they may start to formulate questions in their mind, right? They might start to formulate questions in their mind about what they want to ask me about or how they want to engage in that live. So yeah, here's what Doc says. Doc is saying, I love having questions in the pre-roll. Yeah, so if you think about it, do you remember when you go to the movies, right? Have you been to the movies and they just kind of have that trivia on the screen, right? You're kind of saying, okay, yeah, I'm sitting here waiting for the Marvel flick to start, but I got trivia on the screen and I'm thinking about it. Or you can even go a step further by having people text something. So one of the things that I do in my training sessions, I use this software called Poll Everywhere, right? I use this software called Poll Everywhere, and what it allows people to do is text stuff in. Some people use different ones like Menti or Kahoot, right? It allows people to text or use their mobile devices to send answers in. And so if you are getting ready for your session to start, think about having people text some stuff in, right? Think about having people text some stuff in. So for example, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this on the fly. My goal wasn't to do this, but let me see if I can do this on the fly right now. I'm about to do something on the fly. Y'all are making me go. All right. So let me see if we can do this. Hold on. I want to do something very general. All right. Okay, let me do one. Let's see if I can pull this up. Y'all hang with me. Okay. All right, so I'm actually, okay, so let's do this. So I'm gonna, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to clear something. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to put something on screen here. Let's see if I can grab it. All right. This is not helping me. All right, so here's what I'm actually gonna do. Let me just kind of talk you through what I'm doing. I'm gonna actually put a QR code on the screen, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and hold your camera up to the screen right now, right? Hold your camera up to the screen right now. And when you do that, that should allow you to start. That should allow you to scan something. So let me actually make sure that the QR code is working. So if you're watching on your phone, you probably won't be able to do it, but if you're on your computer, you should just be able to hold your QR code up to the screen. Cool. All right. All right. So let me actually put a link on the screen as well. So if you want to do that, that is something that you can do. So if you want to try this via a link, try going to pollev.com. All right. .com. See, I see some of y'all got it. You can go to Kinetic. All right. So you can go to this website right here. Come on, Robert. And I should be using my preview mode. I know, for those of you that are fantastic e-cammers. All right, so if you want to go pollev.com. Okay, so check it out. I see what some of y'all are doing, but check this out, right? So check out what's happening here. Let me put this right on screen so some of you can see what's up here. Let's see if we can get this on screen for you. Nice engagement tool. Thank you. Okay, so check this out, right? Right? So you can do a pre-roll. You can set something up where people are, I wish you guys could see stuff. You can, if you go ahead and put another word in, you can actually see this changing live, right? Right, so I want you to be able to see this thing changing live. For those of you that are on, go ahead and put something else in here. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of show that to you. Yeah, exactly, right? So, you know, another option for doing pre-rolls, you can use a survey tool, or this is what we call this is a word cloud, right? Do little things to engage your audience, but also keep them interested before you go live, so that they can be connected with the message that you're sharing, etc. All right, so let's see what Doc's saying. Doc's like, movie trivia was fun. I used to bet kisses with my date. That's so hot. Yeah, awesome. Let's see. Gary's like, nice engagement tool. Yep, I use that all the time for my workshops and trainings. J. Robinson's like, yep, it works. Exactly. So, you know, again, there's no reason for people to be awkward on screen. I shouldn't say that, unless you want to be, right? There's so many things that you can do to make sure that your audience is with you, that they keep engaged, and that when you get started, you have time to prep yourself so that you're not looking like a crazy person trying to find the buttons for your own live, right? Because you should be prepared. And that's the biggest thing that happens with people. They're not prepared to go live. They think that once I just click the button, everything's going to come together, but you got to be intentional. What are you going to talk about? What's the story arc? What is the framework? What's the structure? Where are you getting started? What is the thing in the middle that you're going to be doing? And then how are you going to end? What's your call to action? How do you land the plane? What do you want your audience to do after they're done? So you've got to be prepared for your lives. And that's the biggest mistake. That's the biggest thing that I see people not doing, is not preparing for their lives. So that's the biggest thing that I wanted to share with y'all tonight. Hopefully that was a answer to prayer for some of y'all. All right. Just want to say thank you so much for joining me. Listen, hang out with me tomorrow night. We're going to talk about what stories you can use, how to know what stories to use in your videos, in your streams. We're going to be on at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Join me right back here on the channel. All right. I'll see y'all again.